Hi, little skeletons. It is Disney Queen Skelly here, and oh boy, are we in for a treat today. I don't know if you guys have heard recently, but Jungle Cruise is now being updated. And whew, let me tell you, it's the same thing that we've been getting for almost every single Disneyland revamp that's been out there. Minus Snow White's Scary Adventure. That was its own thing. Okay, so you guys remember like years ago when Pirates updated their auction scene for it to be like goods instead of women, right? You guys remember that? Especially when Walt Disney World did it first. Yeah. There was there were some people who had opinions about that. Me personally, I just want to enjoy the ride. I don't care what's being auctioned off. If it's I mean, one of my roommates, that I used to have said that it was accurate for the time, and it was, but because of like how to put this lightly, because of social norms and what is considered okay nowadays. I can see why some people would get upset over it, but I mean, it's a ride. Why do you have to take it that seriously? I mean, this is just how I feel about it. And then came the Splash Mountain change, which isn't exactly as controversial or as bad as, say, the Pirates thing. I mean, some people would probably consider it a lot more controversial just because of the whole Song of the South thing, which has become a lot more prevalent in 2020 and 2021, especially with the removal of the Zippity Doodah theme in the music cycle in Downtown Disney, and I don't know if you guys noticed lack of Song of the South merchandise, which used to be very obvious, which used to be very prominent. Once you got off of Splash Mountain, they would sell Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, and Brer Fox plushies in the store that was just right next to the Fast Pass queue. So there's just been a lot that's going on with the ride changes, and I think the only one really, and I mean with Splash Mountain, it's like they're still keeping it like themed, right, towards Princess and the Frog, which is a very powerful movie in itself. So I'm not totally dissing that change. I think it's a wonderful change, and especially fits in with the New Orleans theme. Of course, I'm just sad to see Splash Mountain go, especially since, with the parks being closed, I haven't been able to ride it in almost a year now, so it's, that kind of breaks my heart a bit. I'm hoping with Splash Mountain in Florida when we go in October it's still there, but I highly doubt it. But I'm obviously going to be looking at it and see how it's changing and just to see how it is. Of course, with Snow White's Enchanted Wish, you guys know they're making it a lot more kid-friendly, which I am totally behind that. I don't see how Snow White's Scary Adventures was actually greenlit, especially with it being in Fantasyland. So having it changed to Snow White's Enchanted Wish is perfect. Now, Jungle Cruise. Oh my god. Okay. I'm just going to read the article and then we're going to talk about it. Breaking. Disney to update Jungle Cruise at Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort with new story, cultural sensitivity changes coming. An entirely new story has come to Jungle Cruise at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom and Disneyland Park. To continue the initiative addressed by Josh D'Amaro, significant scene changes are being made to make the ride more culturally sensitive. We see that the party being chased up a tree by a rhino is now a pack of ethnically diverse explorers. A new scene shows apes taking over a sinking Jungle Cruise boat. Maybe that's a little too close to reality. Walt Disney Imagineering Creative Portfolio Executive Chris Beatty had the following to say about the new scenes to D23. We want to make sure that we take this as an opportunity, right? So as we look to clean up a lot of the challenges that we have in the attraction, we want to make sure we go in and all the humor that Mark Davis gave it all those years ago. Anything new we add will be in that tone. And for the first time, we are actually linking scenes together. So if you think of the famous rhino pole scene with the team of explorers who have somehow camped that night and then been run up the pole by the rhino with a group of other animals, that will really kick off the storyline. Do you ever wonder who those explorers were or where they came from? What's their backstory? As part of the enhanced storyline, each one of them will have their own story and cultural heritage. There's a bird watcher, an entomologist, a wildlife painter, a photographer, and each one will have a different reason for being on the expedition. And of course they did one of the things you're never supposed to do, which is leave the boat. And one of the things we're adding to the attraction is an animatronic skipper who's been chased up the pole by the rhino along with the other explorers. They each have great personalities, and I think our guests will connect with these characters in new ways. So we're not really re-envisioning that scene. We're just adding a narrative and storytelling to bring things to life and connect that moment with other happenings along the river. And you may ask yourself, wait, what happened to their boat? And we find out that the front of the boat has been beached upon these rocks. We wanted to put something here that feels like Marc Davis had a hand in it, that has a bit of humor in it. And we wanted the animals to have the last laugh. So you'll see that the family of chimpanzees has moved in, and we don't currently have chimps on this attraction. All of these amazing animals have been brought to life through the years on the Jungle Cruise, and yet we've never had chimpanzees. The family of chimpanzees jump on the wreckage of the boat, and they are almost making fun of us. One is wearing the skipper's hat and is on the microphone. The other chimp has opened up all the maps, and it looks like she's reading them. A little chimp has gone into the wildlife painter's supplies and has made a mess with paint everywhere. It's the animals really getting the last laugh in the cute scene. These silly explorers really came in and invaded their world. Disney promises the changes will offer more humor, wildlife, and skipper heart, and also reflect the value that the diversity of the world around us. Imagineers Kevin Lively, former Jungle Cruise skipper, shares a video message about the project. Disney has stated to expect the changes to the Jungle Cruise on both coasts later this year, sometime in 2021. Now, of course, I am all for cultural diversity. I think cultural diversity is amazing, and I believe anyone of any skin color, any race, any heritage, wherever your background is, I do believe everyone is capable of doing anything as long as they set their mind to it and, of course, reach the goals that they want to. I truly believe the world is for everybody. In terms of them putting racial diversity in Jungle Cruise, I think that's great. I don't have any issues with it. The only thing that kind of bothers me is that, one, this takes place in Africa, obviously, or is it India? No, it's Africa. African belt, duh. This takes place in Africa. And in Africa, primarily, people who are there are of our darker skin tone. Some people, I believe, in South Africa are of lighter skin tone. But if you wanted to claim this as like cultural diversity, I think they're kind of just using buzzwords at that point. Because I don't really see the Jungle Cruise as racist. These guys are explorers. They're up a pole and, they're being poked by a rhino. I mean, what's the issue here? You know what I mean? And if you wanted this to be like explorers on a journey, I'm all for that. I think that's actually a fantastic storyline. Especially because really the Jungle Cruise, like it said, had no storyline. It was just kind of scenes here and there, and we were the story. Right? We would be on the boat going through the hippos, the piranhas, the headhunters, stuff like that. And it was just a fun journey. But, I like the idea of it being, more of a story, and that there's now people involved who are here for a reason, who are here because, they're on a journey, they're on like a trip, whatever, and they're just trying to, just do their jobs. Which I can totally get that. I don't have an issue with that. So, I mean, the changes that they're bringing, I don't think they really need to mention the cultural diversity. I don't think they really need to mention that it's, going to be more culturally sensitive, because, I mean, this could just be me being ignorant. I don't see an issue with the ride. And it's not to say that, I'm not racist or anything. Again, I'm all for diversity, obviously. Like, I believe anyone, I don't care who you are, what you believe, where you came from. If you set your mind to something and you want to do it, do it. Anyone should have the right to. It just kind of bothers me that, like, something like cultural diversity has to be mentioned in this because of how, what's the term, I think how PC our culture is nowadays. I don't know. I mean, it's just so interesting to see that they have to make these changes because of today's society. I mean, I've been watching movies and shows with hubby recently, and we've been seeing a lot of things that we grew up with in the early 2000s and late 1990s that most people wouldn't be able to let others get away with nowadays, and it's insane. So, I mean, I'm all for the ride changing. I very much appreciate the cultural diversity in the ride in terms of who's in it and, where they come from. I just kind of wish that maybe that wasn't the whole point of the ride change. I wish the point of it may have just been these people are on an expedition for one reason or another, and now they've added more story to it. That's just kind of where I stand on it. If you guys have any opinions for yourself, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm sorry if I hurt any of you with, what I think, my opinion and all that, but that's just how I feel. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, little skeletons. Stay safe, and I love you guys.